I'm Dr. Jennifer Zelowitsky. I'm a medical doctor, a menopause specialist, and a mom to 2 girls. I have over 10 years of experience helping women deal with the biggest yet overlooked part of women's health, menopause and perimenopause. If you've ever felt like you're going through midlife alone, you're not. And if you've ever wondered if what you're experiencing isn't normal, we're going to talk about it. Make sure to subscribe to the Medsplaining podcast on your favorite podcast platform to never miss an episode. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Medsplaining. I'm Dr. Jennifer Zelowitsky, and I'm back with another episode about summer skincare. And this time, we're going to get into your most frequently asked questions about summer skincare. I know the summer can bring all kinds of craziness to our skin, from heat rashes to acne to sweating and sunburns. We are so lucky because we have Dr. Jenn Tran back with us today to answer your most frequently asked questions about skincare, and particularly summer skincare. Dr. Jenn Tran is a double board certified dermatologist. She's a great friend of our show, and I'm so excited to have her here. Before we get into the episode, though, we're going to take a quick ad break. I'm so excited to share that the Perimenopause Power Plan is officially open for enrollment. This is a 4-week, self-paced online course designed to help you understand what's happening in your body, manage your symptoms, and feel more in control without the guesswork. We cover everything from hormone changes and lifestyle strategies to treatment options, supplements, and how to advocate for yourself at the doctor's office. It's practical, supportive, and totally reusable. You'll get a bunch of short, easy-to-follow videos from me each week, plus a super practical workbook to help you put everything into action. It's all bite-sized and totally doable, nothing overwhelming. And the best part, you can revisit it anytime, whenever you need a refresher or a boost. Plus, when you sign up, you'll get exclusive access to a live 1-hour virtual Q&A with me, where you can ask your questions and connect with other women who are navigating the same changes. So if you're in your 30s, 40s, or even 50s and starting to wonder, is this perimenopause? You're not alone, and this course is for you. Join now and get a free downloadable perimenopause symptom tracker. And right now, until June 20th, you can save $20 with the code SAVE20 at checkout. Welcome back, Jen.
Thank you so much for having me back.
It's great to have you. So today we're going to be tackling frequently asked questions from our listeners about summer skincare. We got a lot of questions. We constantly are getting questions, and skincare is a hot topic. So you ready to dig in and see what we can do?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So number 1, should you change up your skincare routine in the summer, and why?
Most people do change it up. So I find that people definitely are more consistent with their sunscreen in the summer, which you must do. Although as a dermatologist, obviously I wear sunscreen all year round.
And your skin is fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. But you can change your moisturizer in the summer. It could be a little bit lighter than what you're used to. You can probably change your lip balm as well. You can make a decision about what active ingredients to use, noting that things like retinol will make you a little bit more sensitive to the sun. But at the same time, your skin can probably handle a bit more in the summer because it's more humid outside. So you're not going to be dry like in the wintertime.
Okay, that's fantastic. What's the weirdest thing that you see in the summer that you don't necessarily see in the winter months?
So one of the things that I see a lot is something called phytophotodermatitis. Mm-hmm. And basically I get these patients coming in with like a weird, irregular brown rash on their arms or legs, or in severe cases, it can even be like a blister. And then my go-to question is like, were you consuming a margarita or some sort of citrus-based beverage in the sun? Sometimes it can happen when they're back from vacation, or it can just happen in the summertime in Canada. And the answer is always yes, or like lemon water. And it's basically a phototoxic reaction where the ingredients in the citrus fruit causes your skin to become more sensitive to the sun, and then you get this like crazy reaction. And then it resolves with pigmentation that lasts months and months and months.
This happened to a friend of mine. She was making key lime pie, and then she went in the sun.
Yes.
And she got brown marks all over her hands.
Yes.
Couldn't figure out why.
It's such a risk. You have to really be careful and basically like wash your hands right after you touch the citrus fruit. It can also happen with things like fig and celery.
Great advice. Great to know, because those margaritas come out in the summer and we need to be aware.
Yeah.
Okay. What does your personal summer skincare routine look like as a dermatologist?
I'm always changing up my routine because I get sent all these different products and I want to test them out. But currently, my skincare is a lot of Korean products. So I use various anti-aging Korean serums. I really like the brand Solwasu right now. I'm using the SkinCeuticals PTOX, like peptide-based anti-wrinkle serum morning and night. And then I use a light moisturizer and a sunscreen every morning. And like a very gentle cleanser that's non-drying. That's pretty much it right now.
So keeping it relatively simple, right? But doing
Yeah.
those proactive things
Yes.
to keep your skin glowing and gorgeous. Okay. What should we exclude from our summer skincare routine?
I would not do anything too heavy or occlusive in terms of moisturizer.
What about exfoliation?
So controversial in the dermatology world. Everyone used to use the St. Ives apricot scrub, and that's really fallen out of favor.
Oh,
I think what's
yeah.
better is to use a chemical exfoliant, something like glycolic acid, lactic acid, mandelic acid. All of these things can kind of gently exfoliate and renew your skin without causing too much irritation.
How often is it safe to use those chemical peel products?
I usually tell people once a week at most.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Yeah, I remember when I was training, we saw someone in the emergency room who came in with a terrible face rash and we couldn't figure it out. And then I started asking more questions and it turned out she had seen this coffee scrub exfoliant online and she was using coffee grinds on her face to scrub her skin. And that turned out not to be
Yeah, you definitely don't want to use like
idea.
a strong abrasive mechanical exfoliant because it can cause like micro tears in your skin, introduce infection and bacteria. Not a good idea.
That was definitely what happened in this case. Okay, so this is a good one. So my makeup contains an SPF. Do I have to apply additional SPF on top of it?
The average person, probably not, depending on how much SPF is in your makeup. So if it's only SPF 15, then yes, you must use more sunscreen. My makeup contains SPF 42. And then I also use a sunscreen before that.
Very specific.
It's a Korean one. So I personally use sunscreen SPF 30 first, sometimes 50, and then I put my makeup on top of that, which is SPF 42. So I'm like a little bit crazy about sunscreen.
No, we should all follow that then. If you know something we don't know then, right? And there's math involved in your morning routine and I love it. I'm down for it. What are the most effective sunscreen ingredients?
Well, if you're talking about mineral sunscreens, then there's really only zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. And then chemical sunscreens, there's a lot of different chemical UV filters out there. But I think so it doesn't like they're all effective as long as you choose like an appropriate SPF. But one thing that's new in the world of sunscreen is the addition of antioxidants. So certain brands like Eucerin, for example, is adding antioxidants to the sunscreen, which makes it more effective. And then it becomes kind of like a skincare thing too, where your sunscreen is not only protecting your skin, but also helping with anti-aging.
That's fantastic. Wow. Why not get more bang for our buck, right? For taking the time to put it on. Okay. What about lip SPF? Is this really needed? And what is it really good for?
So important. In my practice, I see a lot of skin cancers, and the lips are one of the most common areas to get a skin cancer. Wow. And you don't want to be resecting like a chunk of your lip. It is a cosmetically important area, so best to prevent it. So I do wear lip SPF regularly. It's hard to find one that you like because they all kind of taste bad. One hack is just to use a stick sunscreen and just use that on your lips. But some brands that I do like, I like the Jack Black one, which is available at Sephora. Okay. I like Tizo, and there is a really good one by the brand Nude Sticks as well.
Okay. By the way, if dermatology doesn't work out, you could work at Sephora. If I saw you, I would be like, can you help me find the best products? You know everything. Let's talk skincare for kids. So there's kind of a dividing line between younger than 6 months and older than 6 months. Mm-hmm. But let's talk older than 6 months, okay? What's safe? What's unnecessary in kids?
I'm so glad you asked me about this because I'm so triggered by all the stuff that I'm seeing on social media where they are selling skincare products to tweens who definitely don't need anything. The only thing your kid needs is like a moisturizer if their skin is dry, a good, safe sunscreen, and like maybe a cleanser. They definitely do not need a skincare regimen. They don't need retinol
Oh,
or
so my
like
10-year-old niece
anything.
doesn't need anti-aging serums?
No, definitely not. It drives me crazy, actually.
Yeah, I totally get it. Oh, this is a good one. My toddler won't let me apply sunscreen to their face. What are some tips?
I'm a new parent, so I would actually love like the viewers' advice on this one because I also am always chasing around my toddler. But I got these silicone brushes that make it more fun, like on Amazon. She seems to
okay.
like it. I'll give it to her as well, and I'll tell her to do her own sunscreen. And then like the usual like parenting tricks, like now with the baby, like, oh, do you want to show the baby how to apply sunscreen? And that seems to help. But I do think the silicone brushes or the sunscreen sticks are a good way to let your toddler try it themselves.
Okay. That's great advice. Okay, question about burns, not necessarily sunburns, because we talk about sunburns in our last episode, but what about thermal burns? So marshmallow burns, curling iron burns. Is there any effective way to manage those at home?
Yeah, so usually I recommend using a steroid cream right away for just a few days to kind of stop the inflammation. Cool compresses are important. Aloe is great, but especially if you're prone to hyperpigmentation, I usually tell people to start something for that right away. Something like azelaic acid is a great ingredient to look for. That will prevent the pigmentation that can otherwise last, months after a burn.
Okay.
I do really like soothing silicone products as well, like the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm is amazing for burns.
Okay, that's great. How do you know when to go see a doctor about your burn?
If it is a severe mechanism of action, so obviously anything that's like blistering, really painful, or like full thickness where you wouldn't have pain, but it has damaged the epidermis and dermis, definitely go see a doctor.
Okay. So if those simple home measures aren't providing some effective relief within a day or two, or you're noticing the skin is not intact,
Yeah.
maybe that's a good clue that you need to seek other help.
Yep.
Okay, great. This might be difficult, so take your time, but what's one thing you wish viewers would understand about skincare in the summer? I guess if they could do one and only one thing, I think I know where you're going to go with this, but what should they be mindful of in the summer?
I mean, I think the go-to answer is always sunscreen. That's the most important thing to do in the summer. In terms of what we offer in dermatology, so there's a lot of things we do that we would not recommend in the summer. So, like laser resurfacing, chemical peels, anything that's going to kind of peel your skin off or make it more susceptible to the sun, we won't even do on you in the summer.
Okay.
Removal of benign lesions, it's more prone to hyperpigmentation. We'll just tell you to come back in the fall or the dead of winter. That's something not to do in the summer.
That is
You can stick with
great.
like your Botox and your filler. That's all fine, but no resurfacing procedures.
That's fantastic advice. I've never heard anybody talk about that before, so that's amazing. Anything exciting coming down the pipeline in the world of dermatology that we should know about?
Oh my gosh, so much. So much. But in terms of like the topic of this podcast, which is more skincare, no. I don't know if you want to cut this. But in the world of dermatology, yeah.
Okay.
Like I feel like the new thing in my world as also a medical as well as cosmetic dermatologist is all of these new medications that we have for chronic conditions in dermatology. One of the things that I'm most excited about is this thing for hair loss. So patients who have alopecia areata, they've been suffering for years. No good treatments other than getting painful injections in your scalp and you lose everything, your eyebrows, your eyelashes, your hair. And now there's these medications called JAK inhibitors, which can literally regrow everything, even if you haven't had hair for years. And so it's just a nice part of my job where we're giving all these patients new hope.
That's fantastic news. So many people are suffering. Hair loss is a devastating condition for all people to live with, but women particularly are not expecting that to happen to them. And so that's great. That's really exciting news. Dr. Tran, it's always a pleasure to have you. Where can our viewers find you?
So I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and my handle is Dr. Jenn Tran, so DrJennNTran.
Please go follow Dr. Tran. You will get fantastic and timely dermatological advice for you and the whole family. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, everyone. Please remember to give us a follow, give us a comment and a rating, and we will see you next time. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Medsplaining. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM. And if you like this episode, the best thing you can do is tell a friend or rate and review it wherever you listen to your podcast so other women can discover it. And don't forget, if you're listening to this, you may be happy to know that we video every single episode, so you can watch it if you prefer on YouTube. See you next week. Medsplaining is produced by Ghost Bureau. Thank you for tuning in to Medsplaining. While we strive to provide accurate and insightful information, this podcast is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The opinions expressed by our host and guests are their own and should not be interpreted as medical advice. Every individual's health situation is unique, and it is crucial to consult with a qualified healthcare provider regarding your specific concerns and conditions. Additionally, any links, resources, or references mentioned in our episodes are provided for informational purposes only and are not sponsored by Medsplaining. The producers and hosts of Medsplaining assume no responsibility or liability for any actions taken as a result of listening to our podcast. We encourage you to use the information presented here as a starting point for discussions with your healthcare provider. Information and references are subject to change based on scientific evidence as it evolves over time. The hosts and producers of Medsplaining are not responsible for future changes to the information and references and assume no obligation to update based on future developments. Remember, your health and well-being are paramount. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to exploring more topics in women's health with you in future episodes.